Hey, welcome everybody to All Things MSP and our series called MSP Channel Interviews. I am here with Jimmy Hatzell today, and we're going to talk about how he came up in the channel, what his experience has been, and some of the really fun stuff, I think, that he's done in terms of marketing in the channel. Now, before I get started, I want to make sure that I remind everybody, if you are watching this on Facebook, make sure you run over to the YouTube channel and subscribe there to make sure you're notified of all the new videos that we post. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you run over to the Facebook group and join there so that you can take part in all of the conversations that we like to have in this group, specifically around things like we're going to talk about today in terms of marketing. So with that, Jimmy, you have been in the channel for quite a few years now, and you're one of those people who regularly pops up in my LinkedIn feed, in my Facebook feed, pretty much everywhere. And I think that means you have something to share with the rest of us in terms of how we're doing marketing, whether it's from the vendor side or whether it's from the actual MSP side. I think there are some tips you can give us. But first, what I like to do with these interviews is really have everybody talk about their story of how they got into the channel and kind of just a little bit about how they got to here in the first place. So take it away.
Sure. Thanks for having me. I think honestly, I started way before working in marketing. I started just working in IT. How many MSPs started, just one person, IT consulting, personal business. That was the first thing that I did, and eventually it led me to a career in IT, and I worked in IT for a number of years and ran IT for a small company. I reached a point where I wanted to move into cybersecurity. I really enjoy cybersecurity. At the time, I was doing a lot of hack the box and things like that, and it was something that it was an industry that was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I knew that I needed to be a part of it. So I sought out cyber companies, and I found this company called Scout Cybersecurity. And I met with the CEO there and a number of other people. And the CEO, I was originally interviewing for a technical account manager type role, VCIO type thing, but for security. And he said to me, listen, I want you to join the team, but I don't want you to go work in the SOC. I want you to work on our go-to-market team. We're going to start changing our business model where we're going to sell through MSPs, and we're going to work with MSPs. And I want you to, really spearhead that. And I was nervous. I'd never done anything like that before. And then he said, but before anything, I want you to work in sales, because I think working in sales will teach you everything you need to know about, the market and how hard it is and what we really need to do. So I thought about it and I was like, I guess why not? I guess cybersecurity sales isn't a bad first sales job. Let me try it out. Let's do it. And we'll see what happens. And, I went in from being a very technical person, hands-on, IT guy, cyber guy, into a sales role. And man, it was difficult. It was so difficult. And that was really before we switched to, selling all through the channel. So I was working on a lot of direct mid-sized deals, a lot of the types of deals that MSPs are working on. And oh my God, I learned so much about how difficult it is to sell security, to sell technology in general, but security that nobody understands for the most part, SOC services, SIM services, people didn't really get that at the time, and they probably still don't now. And after a little while, we sat down and had a conversation. I sort of naturally morphed into marketing and more community-based marketing, community building. And they said to me that they would like me to move into a marketing role, the CEO and the president, and then I became in charge of Scout's marketing, and we switched to a full channel model. And, I led the marketing team from, for 3 years, 3.5 years, I guess. And it was fun. It was a fun ride. And we were eventually acquired by Barracuda Networks. And I worked at Barracuda for a couple months as well. And, love the folks at Barracuda. It was, great things there as well. But through this process, I learned so much about marketing and just, cyber in general. My key area is teaching MSPs how to sell security, and making it really easy for them and providing the right tools and resources to make that happen. Because being on the other side of that, I learned most of the stuff that vendors were putting out, or most tips were pretty much useless. It wasn't really
Yeah.
helpful. So we developed a program to help MSP sell security at scale, and self-service type program, training programs, things like that. And then, going out to the community events, being involved in the online communities. I think when COVID hit, I had sort of an advantage. It was a really hard time for a lot of businesses, but I am a digital communities type person. That's ingrained in me. So when all these other marketers were trying to figure out how do we crack into these MSP online communities, I'm already in there. I'm already commenting things, giving my opinion on things hey, don't get that. Hey, get that, So it was sort of a natural shift for me. And, a couple weeks ago, at the time while we're recorded right now, is about 3 weeks ago, I joined Quickpass as their, head of marketing, and, we're building out the marketing department really. And I plan to do a lot of the same things on, just my focus is giving to the MSP community. How can we make it easy for you to sell security? And make your business operate more smoothly. It's not just about the software that I'm pushing, about Quickpass, blah, blah, blah. It's about everything, because we're at a time right now, and, we can get into this, but we're at a time right now where cyber has just gotten so bad. Hacks are getting worse. Cyber insurance premiums are going insane. Nobody knows what to do. And MSPs are the only ones that can go and work on this problem. Really, they're the only ones equipped for it. For SMBs, sure, big companies have their own IT teams, so they can hire these super expensive security firms to come in. But for most of America and most of the world, SMBs employ the majority of the workforce. We're relying on MSPs to stay secure and solve this cyber problem. So, I just want to, be a part of it and help make that a little bit easier, because no matter what, whether we're ready or not, we're the ones going to be getting the calls when there's a security issue.
You and I are kind of kindred spirits, in that mindset, because for anybody who doesn't know, all things MSP is not my day job. My day job is working for Ignite. And, my job is kind of twofold, because we have the file server replacement piece, which is very easy to explain to MSPs and for them to sell. It's kind of a no-brainer. But then we have the same, thing that you're talking about with the security side, because we have so many data governance and data security pieces that we can fold into that. And really, there is a huge difference in the enterprise stuff that seems to have kind of, from a lot of vendors, they've just taken their enterprise assets and material and stuff and just tried to shift it down to MSPs. And it's not the same. So you pointing out that the industry needs these SMB specific sales plays and, ways that MSPs can address these topics with their clients is extremely important. And I'm sure a lot of MSPs really do appreciate that. Now, one of the interesting things that, I see you as this, really great marketing person in the space. I did not know about your IT history. And I think it's funny that a lot of us came up through that type of program. Is we started as technical people, and then we learned the sales and marketing side so that we could apply our technical knowledge. And it's really, I think, to kind of tie that up, it comes down to the why. Because as people who are doing IT for small businesses and selling to small businesses, we understand what's different about those businesses that make better marketing material and better messaging. And so I really appreciate the fact that you're bringing that, to this space. So That's a great story. I really appreciate you sharing that with us. Um, on the current state of the market, because I'm sure a lot of MSPs who are dialing into this,
Mhm.
this is what they're probably interested in, is what are some of the changes that you see for MSPs in the SMB space for selling marketing? Now, obviously, we don't want to give away a lot of secret sauce here because that's the content you're developing for Quickpass. But just broad language, what are some of the things that you recommend them looking into in order to create the messaging that's going to resonate with their clients?
Sure, sure. I think a lot of MSPs are getting bad advice on marketing, just in general. And I say this because you talk to someone and you're like, where are you getting, where's your business coming from? And typically smaller MSPs or mid-sized MSPs will say it's 80% referrals,
Mm-hmm.
90% referrals, and then they'll go talk to a marketing company or a lead gen company and they'll say, you need to spend 10 grand a month on this ad campaign or this, other thing. And then you look at it. So you have 90% of their business is coming from referrals, 10% from other things. And then they get advice on where to spend their marketing money, and it's 90% on these other things, and maybe even 10%, maybe if that, on referrals. It's like, why aren't we trying to amplify the thing we know works?
Right.
And I think, like, we need to look at referrals and building community interchangeably. So what that means for MSPs is, like, you should be double, triple, quadruple down on your network. The people who are going to sign up as clients for you are going to be people that you already know. They're going to be your clients' friends and colleagues, and they're going to be mostly, inside your network, unless you're like a big national MSP and you have like people cold calling and stuff like that. So, like, it's okay to focus on that. It's okay. Like, you should be able to tie all of your marketing campaigns to that. So when people are saying, I'm spending all of this on Google Ads or PPC for IT services in my area, like, that's okay. You can do that. But when you're looking at your strategy as a whole, would that money be better spent, going to that extra community event, doing something, giving something nice to your clients and your friends, in your network, things like that where your business has actually come from before. So, that's it on that's one of it. And then the other is like security as a whole. Like, we should be we jump into products too fast. And this is a whole thing to cover. We need another call to really
Right.
dive into this. But we jump right to, here's the product that's going to fix your problem, instead of spending time letting an end user or potential customer or current customer really understand the scope of their cyber problem. So we jump into providing a solution without, like, articulating with them and helping them actually understand, not just saying, oh, yeah, the cyber problem that exists inside their business today.
Right.
So I think we need to spend more time on that.
Yeah, and I think you make a great point about referrals. By the way, referrals. The interesting thing there, I think, is that referrals have been kind of the best way for all the way since we've been doing break fix. Right. When I was doing break fix back in the 90s, referral was where I got all my business from. But of course, back then, I was a recently graduated computer engineer. I had no idea about sales and marketing. I had just worked in a computer store and they didn't want to do any on site work. So he said, why don't you go start your own business and, you know, take care of these business clients? I'm like, okay. And I did it, and it just grew naturally for 10 years. It was great. But as good as referral marketing is, it has changed. It's become more competitive out there. And what I used to be able to do organically with referrals, you have to systematize now. You have to be very intentional about your processes for marketing. And I think, in my opinion, this goes for any type of marketing, right? It is a test. If it works, double down. If it doesn't, get rid of it. but make sure you're always trying something new, because you never step in the same river twice, and marketing is a very fast moving river. So
Yeah, couldn't agree more. There's a like, it's very intentional, that you're seeing me in your feed every day, right? like,
right.
like like there's work and a strategy behind that goes into popping up on LinkedIn and Facebook and everywhere all the time. And I think that MSPs can take a lot of those playbooks, and they can work in this online digital world.
Yep. So that brings me to a topic that I know you and I like very much, and that is video. So, in your opinion, what are one or two things that MSPs should do right now to start down the road of providing video content for their communities?
Great question. So one, just do it. Like, just do it. I think we all overthink it. Two, like, it doesn't need to be the same 3 tips on how you can, secure your passwords. Like that, people, like, a lot of people are putting out content like that. Just talk about your business. Your clients are business owners and they run businesses. They will, consume content like that. So just be honest, just be yourself. As cliche as it sounds, because everyone is always saying that, like, be authentic. You don't have to be super buttoned up in today's world. You can just point and shoot a video, and yeah, you can get better over time. Because what is the worst thing that could happen? Somebody actually sees it, like,
yeah. Or you don't post it. I mean, there are plenty of things that I've done where I'm like, no, I need to redo that again, and that's fine, because every time you do it, just like you were talking about, every time you do it, you get better and you get more comfortable with being on camera. And it's one of those things where even if you step away for it for a while, because that's happened to me, you kind of have to get it back again. So the more you do it, the more consistently you do it, the better and the easier it becomes.
Yeah. So I'm hoping to bring my vlog back. I know you were, a fan of that. I did 2 episodes. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So, going to a lot of trade shows this year. So there's definitely a place for it. So we shall see there.
Yeah. I actually, so as a Christmas gift to myself this year, I actually did sign up for the Casey Neistat class. I'm sure you've seen that advertised.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately, things just, got busy. I ramped up, some things, and I just couldn't go through the process in the month that they kind of assigned to you. But, I'm hoping to kind of bring some of that into some of my content as well. So I'm looking forward. Definitely. I loved your vlogs. I think they to me had a lot of that kind of Casey Neistat feel to them, which is great because he's a great storyteller. And I think the way you showed that trade show definitely followed a great storyline. So I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to more. So switching gears a little bit, let's talk about your current engagement. What's your role at Quickpass? What are you doing? What's some of the exciting stuff going on at Quickpass?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm the director of marketing at Quickpass, the head of marketing at Quickpass. So all of marketing at Quickpass right now. Throughout the year, I'm sure I'll have a team and stuff, but we're just, sort of ramping up and getting started. At Quickpass, what we do is we build tools to help MSPs with their cyber hygiene, specifically around identity, access management, passwords, all those privileged accounts, those types of things. So one of the main reasons why I joined the company is I noticed that so many MSPs and real like people who were involved in security. So I noticed it in myself, right? I noticed that I had certain things that were poor cyber hygiene. There was like some passwords like on these obscure accounts that maybe I didn't add MFA yet. Maybe I didn't, reset it from the password manager from 5 years ago, things like that. And I knew it's a big problem because I'm obsessed with security. I know tons of MSPs are obsessed with security as well, so they can relate to that. But I talk to my relatives, my friends, like they're not doing any of this stuff. So, inside of an MSP, how can we improve cyber hygiene. And at Quickpass, we have a couple different products to do that right now. One is on password rotation. I think it's a big gap in the market right now where you have things like Office 365 admin tenants, domain controllers, local admin accounts on computers. I mean, how many people are guilty of having local admin accounts on the end user computers that the password hasn't been updated in a year, or even worse, the password's the same on every machine. So we take all of those accounts for MSPs and we are able to rotate all of those passwords in a multi-tenant, very organized way, and update all of your IT documentation and IT Glue or Hoodoo or our own password vault as often as every single day. And this is just a good cyber hygiene best practice. And it doesn't matter if the tech leaves and has the password. It doesn't matter if there's an MFA bypass. We have that extra layer of protection where the password's being rotated every single day. Another gap that I saw is when people actually call in to a help desk, how are they being verified? I mean, so many people, they're growing, so many MSPs are growing so fast. So it's like you blink your eyes one day and every customer who's calling in, to you have somebody else working for you who's new, who doesn't know every customer. So how are you verifying those people? And we have a set of tools that we can verify the end users. We can integrate with ConnectWise or what you're using as your PSA. Pull all that information in, send them a text, email. We have an app that we can send a push notification to verify who the user is. And we also help do password resets and make password resets really easy and match them up between Office 365 and Active Directory in a simple way where users can do it themselves, self-service. So what we're doing is making better security for IT teams and MSPs, and cutting down on things like password support, password reset tickets inside an MSP to save that operational time.
Yeah, because that's a huge one, right? Is password resets is one of those, probably the most common help desk ticket that exists today. I think, and what I think is cool about all of that, especially, is that end user verification for the MSP, because I don't think that's something that anybody else has really addressed, or if they have, they haven't gotten it out to the MSP community in any manner that I've been able to see it. So I think that would be a hugely important thing for MSPs. All right, so I know we're running out of time. Okay. Sorry about that, Jimmy. If there's
no worries.
But I always like to give kind of my guest, a minute or two to explain, just one last thing to leave our listeners with. So if there's one more thing, Jimmy, go ahead.
Oh, no. It was just a feature thing, but I will say, everyone has that one cyber thing that, might keep you up at night. That thing that you should be doing, that cyber hygiene best practice that you're not doing. And it's okay. Like sometimes I forget to floss too, and I go to the dentist and pretend like I do every day or twice a day or whatever you're supposed to do. But you just have to be aware of it and you have to address it. Ignoring the problem, it's only going to get worse and it's going to turn into a bigger problem. So when you look at your business, your MSP, and the cyber hygiene holistically, just figure out what that thing is, and you don't need to fix it overnight, but make a plan to work on it. So I'll leave you with that.
Awesome. Thank you, Jimmy. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for telling your story and for telling us a little bit about Quickpass. Really do appreciate it. I will leave links to Quickpass, to Jimmy's LinkedIn, so you can follow him, be a part of his community, and share some of the information that he has, because I think he's one of those people out in this community who is really passionate about helping MSPs, regardless of whether or not they're one of his customers or not. He's just one of the great guys in the channel. Jimmy, I hope to see you on the road here coming up pretty soon.
Absolutely.
I know I start getting busy in terms of travel in March, so I hope you do too. And with that, everybody, just have a great day. If you have any questions, please reach out. Make sure that you join Jimmy's community, be part of his circle. A lot of great information there. And we will see you on the next video. Thanks. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.